Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Before we get started, can you do me a favor please? Can you hit a Mason Rook backflip on that follow button anywhere you were listening to this podcast? Also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, which is X now. All the handles are the same. It's the SmackDown with Mario, so it's very easy to look up. So please give me a follow on those as well. But enough of that. We're going to go ahead and get down to what we came here today to talk about, and that is WWE NXT. So we're going to be reviewing that from May 26th. Or no, it was yesterday. Yeah, May 26th, 2026. So, yeah, I'm recording this on Wednesday. That's why I got a little confused there. But we're going to go ahead, get started. The show starts off with Kelani Jordan versus the WWE Women's Speed Champion, Wren Sinclair. And this match ended with Sinclair hitting Jordan with the gut wrench suplex. Jordan then reverses out of the Irish whip from Sinclair. Then Sinclair dives over Jordan. Jordan kissed the left knee of Sinclair. Sinclair avoids the split-legged moonsault from Jordan. Then Sinclair hits Jordan with the rolling crucifix for a 2 count. Jordan then blocks the gut wrench suplex from Sinclair. Jordan applies the STFU, but Sinclair manages to escape. But then Jordan puts Sinclair in the modified Muda lock and makes her tap out. This match seemed more like a submission match than just a normal match, because they kept on trying to make each other tap out, other than, getting the pin. I'm guessing this is leaning like towards a submission match between Kiana Jordan and Kendall Gray at some point. I don't know really when, but they kept on trying to make each other submit, and they keep on talking about how they Kendall Gray made somebody, I forget who she said, submit. But it seemed like it's going to be a submission match at some point between Kelani Jordan and Kendall Gray. So we got that. But next we see Tatum Paxley talking to Lizzie Rain backstage. Tatum apologizes for Lizzie getting caught up in Zarya's rampage. She feels like Zarya is obsessed with her title. Lizzie says that if Zarya thinks she's just going to sit back and be collateral damage, that's not how the mate in the middle plays. Shallow Hill joins the conversation. Shallow puts over how good his petition is going, but then Tristan Angels joins the conversation. Tristan can't believe that Lizzie is enabling this nonsense. It calls the petition absolutely absurd. However, Papa Shango, Mike Tyson, and Timothy Chalamet have signed the petition. Tristan says that that's a strict process with judges and categories when it comes to pageants. He hopes that Charlie Dempsey stretches some sense into Shallow Hill. Lizzie tells Tatum that she's going redhead hunting. Shallow Hill asks, can he join her? And they went out to go look for Zarya. So, as we find out later on that Zarya and Lizzie had a little scuffle, but we get to that later on though. This whole Shallow Hill and Tristan Angel thing is just silly, but it's how NXT is. But we'll get to more of that later on as well. Next, we get a segment from Dark State as they come out to the ring, and they come out to the ring as usual with no pop. Osiris Griffin, he gets on the mic. He gets on the mic first, and he says, "When Dark State strikes, ain't nobody say. Got a whole new meaning last week, huh? Y'all looking so surprised, bruh. Y'all looking at me crazy. Why? Quan was already the odd man out. We're all division standouts. Cutler James, all conference wrestler at Duke. Deion Lennox, 4-year starter, 3-time team captain, played defensive end at Oregon State University. And me, Osiris Griffin, defensive lineman for Syracuse University and the Orlando Saints. Who that?" Deion Lennox says, "And Shaquan Sugars, indie wrestler, that's it. Yeah, he has street smarts. Yeah, he knew his way around the ring, and that's the reason why he's the last pick in Dark State." Osiris Griffin says, "But we're focused, man. We're elite level athletes. He's a wild card who always got to run from what he got, man. And every single time he chooses the path of most resistance, making it harder than what it needs to be for us, Cutler James says. Yeah, but almost like Sugars made our decision last week easier. I mean, we've said it from day one. A successful individual is a success for the group. But I guess somewhere along the way, Shaquan forgot all about that. And we gave him so many chances to get back on track, but he was just a liability. He is reckless. He ran into every situation blind. He never understands the consequences, and he failed. He failed, and that means that he failed Dark State. And last week, that was the last straw. Deion Leonard says, "Yeah, you were right. Look, I was shocked when cutting O's did last week. That couldn't be me. But when I saw what they did to Shaquan, I knew the play. Eliminate the weak. For weeks, Shaquan tried to paint me as the bad guy, tried to turn my brothers against me because of his own jealousy. Yeah, he tried to say that I was leader of Dark State. He tried to say that I was better than he was. I ain't acting. I just am. John Cena picked me for the Iron Survivor Challenge. Stone picked me for the number one contender eliminator gauntlet for the North American title. I didn't ask for that. I earned it. And he knew that. He called me the leader of men who I first got this thing started. I told y'all from the jump, this machine that we're building is all for us, not just me. But damn it, if you think there's a Dark State without Deion Lennox, then you tripping big shoes, fool. I built this thing brick by brick, and I'd be damned if I let you be the one to tear it down. So I guess, hold up. I'm sorry, we ain't done yet, because Osiris Griffin said, so now that we got rid of the dead weight, it's time for Dark State to get back to what they do best, because when the lights go out, you better keep your head on the swivel, because if you're in our way, you're going to get put down. Then Deion Lennox ended it saying, yeah, that's right. Everybody back there, we've been sparing y'all for the last couple months. Vanity Project, Miles, Tony, y'all keep your heads up, because Dark State is back. And if you thought nobody was safe before, you ain't see the damn thing yet. So I guess they're gonna run this whole Shaquan getting his revenge thing. I don't think nobody really want to see it. I don't think nobody really cares about it. I think everybody, well, me, was just hoping that they just forget about the whole Shaquan thing and move on. I guess the bright side in this, hopefully, we'll see Deion Lennox win a single title. Because, like I've been saying, he the best one out of the group. So, hopefully, he get a single title out of this. But I don't think nobody really cares about the whole revenge thing they're trying to do with Sugars. But they're going to do it anyway. But who cares? Anyway, next, we see Wren Sinclair in the trainer's room with Kendall Gray. The doctors order an MRI on Sinclair out of precaution. Lola Vice joins the conversation. Lola tells Sinclair to stay positive. It's going to be okay. Kendall passive-aggressively says that when Wren heals up, they'll both be champions. Callie Armstrong joins the conversation. Callie says that Kendall is not the same cocky person that she was in Evolve after Kelani Jordan dropped both of them. Lola wants to know why Callie is looking at her NXT Women's Championship. Callie says that she's looking at motivation. Lola says that Callie already has a big head after being in NXT for only a month. Callie says, or tells Lola, that when she steps into the ring with the difference maker, she'll find out why. She says she's going to keep a close eye on tonight's main event. Lola tells Callie to take some notes while looking at Kendall. Lola says that Callie is being added to the long list of women she's going to knock out. So, again, they're still trying to push Armstrong. I guess we'll see how that go. She's alright in the ring. They need to give her another finisher move, though. That pounce that she does is not that good, and she's alright in the ring, but on the mic, she needs some work still. But they're trying to push her. I think they see something big in her. Anyway, next we get Sean Legacy versus DVD Dorian Van Dux in a WWE Speed Championship Tournament matchup. This match ended with Dux hitting Legacy with the pump knee strike. Dux then blocks a boot from Legacy. Dux hits Legacy with a rolling elbow. Legacy then sends Dux over the top rope. Dux hits Legacy with the apron enziguri. Legacy then hit Dux with the avalanche Spanish fly from the top rope as time expires. Time expires. So after the match, Legacy and Dux shake hands, but with the time expires, that means these guys are eliminated. It was a pretty good match. I can see them running this back some other time in a longer match, because it was a pretty good match. Wish it would have went on longer. It's one of the best matches of the night, so we'll see what they do with that. But both guys are eliminated. So yeah. Next we see Natty talking to Layla Diggs in the women's locker room. Natty admired how Layla stood up to Jada Parker last week. She glad that someone around here knows how to treat a legend. Layla says that they don't call Natty a low-key legend for nothing. Layla is not afraid to push back. Natty says that she wants to be in Layla's corner for her match against Jada Parker later on. Layla says that she has no problem with that, or actually the matches now, because right after that we have Jada Parker versus Layla Diggs. This match ended with Parker laying Diggs flat on the middle turnbuckle. Then Parker starts chopping on Layla's chest and hits her with a teardrop and does her little LeBron James strut. Parker, by the way, she got the biggest pop of the night out of everybody. She's a star. I don't know why she's in this little petty feud with Natty. I just don't understand it. She should be fighting for the NXT Women's Championship. She's, to me, above this whole Layla Diggs thing. But anyway, Parker then goes for the Falcon Arrow, but Diggs lands on her feet. Diggs flips over the clothesline, like I did a backflip over Parker's clothesline, and hits Parker with the leaping elbow smash for a 2 count. Diggs then goes for the moonsault, but Parker ducks out of the way. And that moonsault she did, she got a lot of air on that moonsault. It looked really good. Like, she should keep that as a finishing move, because I don't know if you haven't seen it, like, go on social media or something, because I know y'all don't watch the full show like me, but it's part of my job. But anyway, go on social media or something and look at this match between her and Jada Parker and look at her moonsault. Like, she got so much air out of it. If she like learns how to hit that correctly, then yeah, she should keep that as a finishing move. It was a good moonsault. Might even say better than Io Sky's. I don't know. You be the judge of that. Go look at it and let me know. Okay. Parker hits her with the Hypnotic, then connects with the Deja Vu to pick up the win. After the match, Parker stares down Natty, because we got to do this little feud thing with Natty and Parker for some reason. Don't know where this is headed, but I hope it's something quick. Parker finally gets a win after being on a losing streak, so I'm glad they let her beat Layla. Last week, I know I was kind of worried if that wasn't going to be the case, but I'm glad they did the right thing and let her beat her. Anyway, next, Blake Howard had a backstage interview with Birthright. Leslie King said that he's not surprised by the outcome of the Shawn Legacy DVD match, because when you're trying to catch up with the King of Speed, there's bound to be some casualties. Speaking of casualties, Charlie Dempsey is going to make an example of Shiloh Hill tonight when he rips him apart limb by limb. As far as next week is concerned, Lexus has none, because he's the fastest man alive. Fraxium joins the conversation. They highly disagree with King. Fraser says that's like comparing a cheetah to a cow. Fraser says that Romeo Moreno has a good chance to beat him, as Spain does in the World Cup. Axiom takes offense to that, saying that's not the flex Fraser thinks it is. Fraser doesn't have much confidence in his country of England as well winning the World Cup, I guess. So we see Fraser and Marino fight later on. Next, we see Tony D'Angelo come to the ring, and he didn't really get a pop either. I mean, as an NXT champion, his run has been okay. It ain't been the best, but Tony D'Angelo, I don't know. People just don't really like him, or I mean, he good in the ring, but the gimmick he had and the gimmick they giving him is just not good. So it's not really his fault. It's WWE fault for the gimmicks they giving him, but I don't know. Anyway, Tony gets on the mic and he says, so for the past month or so, we had an influx of new young, hungry faces here in NXT. Spices things up a little bit, makes NXT a little unpredictable and more exciting for the WWE universe. Less for me, because when they get here, they want to take a shot at the champ, but next week, it's my turn. Next week, I go one-on-one with the new hot shot, Cam Hendricks. Listen, I'm not out here to talk about his potential. I'm not here to talk about if or when he's ready to be an NXT superstar. That's for you guys to decide. But what I can tell you is that he won't be the NXT champion this week. Now, we'll get to Cam, but right now, I want to talk about somebody who has been randomly appearing in my space, and I think it's time for you and I to meet face to face. Naruku makes his entrance, which I love his entrance. It's pretty cool. Before he can get to the before he get his entrance ends, Tony says, "Listen, I know you like to talk in riddles and hitting messages. I'm more of a straight shooter, so why don't you be more like me? I know you've been stalking me in my NXT championship. Just come on and say it. You want a shot at the NXT championship." Now Rocco gets on the mic. He says, "I am here to keep you safe. You and your title safe, Tony, son." Tony D'Angelo says, "What? You here to keep me and my title safe? What are you talking about? Listen, man, you really expect me to believe that that's what you're doing? I don't buy your bull crap, man. I know exactly what you're doing. So next week, I'm going to take care of Cam, and then I'm going to handle you." Now Rocco said, "I'm going to make sure you stay champion because it is our destiny to go to war." Cam Hendricks then says, Hey. He came out. He said, "Cut my music. Cut it off. I know my music is clean as hell. Everybody take a good long look at the NXT champion, Tony D'Angelo. He changed his whole life around. Left all his friends and family to become champion. Well, guess what? You got 7 days left because next week it's Light Cam Ashton for the NXT championship." I hate that phrase, Lights Cam Ashton. That's not good. I don't know who gave him that. I don't know who told him that was good. But yeah, that's stupid. Anyway, now Tony, you are the number one superstar of NXT. You got the gold. You got the hot spot. Everybody knows it. But next week you run into a buzzsaw that you can't even stop. I'm not bragging. It's just straight facts. Cam Hendricks is the fastest rising superstar in NXT history. The fastest. Last week I beat 2 champions, not 1, but 2. And next week I will destroy the pillar of NXT. Tony D'Angelo says, "Yeah, that's pretty bold. You coming out here interrupting me and Naraku." Cam says, I've been bold my whole life, man. I'm not cocky. I'm just confident." Tony says, "Confident? You're confident, right? Yeah, I get it, man. Well, you think you're the first guy to come out here and all full of himself talking about how he deserves to be at the top of the card? Look, Cam, you're a premier athlete, no doubt about it. But you look at this title as a status symbol. A status as in you get to parade yourself around red carpet events. You get to parade yourself around MVP parties, VIP parties, I'm sorry. Me, I sacrificed everything to have this championship. It took me 5 years. I had to get through failure. I was doubted. I doubted myself. I doubted if I was ever good enough to be in this position that I am today. And now I get to stand in this ring from everybody. And now I got to stand in this ring from everybody who has just given a title match. Okay, sorry. Let me redo that. I'm sorry, y'all. And now I got to stand in this ring from everybody who was just given a title match. Somebody who hasn't earned a single damn thing in NXT. Congratulations, Cam. You won a match. But if you want to take this away from me, you're going to have to reach into my chest and rip it out my heart. But you and I both know that ain't going to happen." Tony then shoves the microphone into Cam's chest. Naraku prevents Cam from sneak attacking Tony. Naraku hits Cam with the forearm strikes. Naraku then clothesline Cam over the top rope, bow down to Tony to close the segment out. Next we see Tavion Heights talking to Miles Barnes backstage. Tavion said that he's apologized over 20 times for what happened last week. What more does Miles want from him? Miles says that that wasn't a time for Tavion to get his lick back. Miles knows that Tavion is hungry for opportunities, but if he doesn't slow down, he's going to make both of them crash and burn. Tavion is still Miles' brother, but he doesn't understand what the result from last week could actually mean. Tavion says that it's a good thing that Cam Hendricks didn't pick Miles. Miles says that's a good point. He has everything coming after his NXT North American title. Right after he said that, Dark States comes crashing in and beats both of them down. So yeah. back to the whole segment of the NXT title. I forgot to say all this, but the whole Naraku keeping Tony safe is weird. I don't know what they're going with that. I know Cam's not going to win this week. That's obvious, but I don't know what the storyline is going between Naraku and Tony. I just know that I think still that Naraku is going to be the one to beat him. And next thing about this Miles Bourne thing. Miles Bourne, he's deaf, and sometimes he don't even look at the guys when he's talking, because, you know, like, when you're deaf, you got to try to look at their mouth and see what they're saying. But most of the time, he look away and he still be on beat with the whole, like, you know, interaction with them. So, you know, he's doing real good. He's good on the mic, good in the ring. So I'm glad they pushing him, because what he's doing as a deaf guy is really amazing. But anyway, next, coming out of the commercial break, we see the Vanity Project walking around the backstage area. Jackson Drake says that the way Swipe Right retained the NXT Tag Team titles last week was cinema. Ricky Smoke says that can end up like Dark State. Then they run into Tate Wilder, who's about to get on his motorcycle. Brad Baylor asks Tate what hurts more, falling off the bike or the stitches that he has on his eyes, courtesy of Keanu Carver. Tate says that he's fine. It's only 4 stitches. Jackson says he remembers when his first couple of matches at NXT. He says that Tate Wilder has a lot to learn. Tate reminds Jackson that he's older than him. Jackson then tries to calm down Mekhi Lockwood. Tate proceeds to challenge Jackson to a match next week. Jackson says that Tate doesn't want this work after Keanu Carver did what he did to him last week. Tate says, I would love to disagree because he lives for this. So, I'm guessing next week we're going to get Tate versus Jackson Drake. Seems like they pushing Jackson Drake, which is good. He good in the ring, decent on the mic. But next we got Nathan Frazer versus Romeo Moreno. This match ended with Moreno hitting Frazer with the head scissors takedown to the floor. Moreno then crashes on Frazer for the springboard crossbody block to the outside. Moreno rolls Frazer back into the ring, but Frazer hits the superplex on Romeo. Frazer then goes for the brainbuster, but Moreno counters with the inside cradle to pick up the win. And by the way, this was part of the Speed Championship tournament. This was a pretty good match, but it's a big win for Moreno, getting a win over Frazer. Yeah, this guy's really good in the ring. I really like him. He can work on his mic skills a little bit more, but yeah, in the ring, he's really good. Moreno, after the match, has a stare down with Birthright that was standing on that LFG perch thing. But yeah, they have a stare down as Moreno and Alexis King will have the match for the Speed Championship next week. Hopefully Moreno wins that, because like I said, he's really good and he can do, like, I think, really good things for that Speed Championship, because yeah, I would love to see it. Next, we see Izzi Dane and Nico Vance preparing for their matches. Izzi says that she's going to become NXT Women's Champion tonight. Izzi mentions that Sean Spears is nowhere to be found. Vance says he hopes that Spears is ready for their tag team match. Okay. Next, coming out of commercial break, Robert Stone is talking to Mason Rook backstage. Mason says that he wasn't. If it wasn't for him, Cam Hendricks would have been in the title contention. Mason tells Stone that he should be the one fighting Tony D'Angelo, while Stone is glad that Mason got his lip back on Cam last week. No matter how arrogant Cam Hendricks is, he got a pinfall victory over the NXT North American Champion, and that's why he's getting a title shot next week, which is crazy because he got the win over the North American Champion, not the NXT Champion. But I guess technically he got a win over both of them. I don't know how that works, but anyway, Stone tells Mason to wait out to see what happens next week. Maybe he'll be in title contention. Mason says that maybe he'll do something about it next week. Naraku joins the conversation. Naraku says that Mason will be doing no such thing. He will not allow anyone to ruin this match. So, a little interaction between Naraku and Mason Rook. So, yeah, we'd love to see that match as well. It'll be a fun match. But next we get OTM versus Cullen. But Before the match even started, Shawn Spears attacked OTM during their entrance with steel chair shots. Multiple referees came out to hold Spears back. Nickel Vance appears and seemed mad at Spears going into business for himself. The match never got started, so this is a non-contest. So, yeah. Cracks in the culling. Don't know how this is going to end up, but I guess it's going to end up with Shawn Spears leaving the group and hopefully having a singles run, because I love Shawn Spears. I hope he turns back to Ty Dillinger, do the whole 10 gimmick again, because I loved that back in the day. Next we see Sarah backstage with Kylie Armstrong. She asks Kylie which title does she has her eye set on. Kylie says that it's only a matter of time before Kylie runs the entire women's locker room, so she needs to pick her spots. She may even go after both titles. Thea Hale joins the conversation. Thea says it's not that easy to become double champion around here. Kylie says it may be a dream for Thea, but according to Kylie, it's a reality that she and every one of those raggedy heifers in the locker room is going to have to deal with. So, little interaction between Thea and Kylie. Like I said, they pushing Armstrong to the moon, it seems like, but we'll see about that later on. But next we see Zarya refusing to sign Shiloh Hill's petition to become Mr. NXT. And Zarya tells Shiloh to have his creepy friend sign the petition. Shiloh says that Zarya should be more concerned about Lizzie Rain than Tatum Pasley. Zarya calls Lizzie collateral damage because her focus is on the women's North American title. Shiloh tells Zarya that he'll see her around because his match is coming up next. Lizzie comes out of nowhere and attacks Zarya as they have a big pull-apart brawl. So, yeah. That happened. But after that, we get Shiloh Hill versus Charlie Dempsey. This match ended with Dempsey hitting Hill with the knee lift. Hill comes back with the pop-up Hellmaker. Dempsey then slaps Hill in the face, but that gets Hill fired up. Hill goes for a belly-to-back suplex, but Dempsey lands on his feet. Dempsey connects with the forearm shiver across the back of Hill's head. Dempsey goes for the butterfly suplex, but Hill counters with the bridging Northern Lights suplex to pick up the win. So, yeah. For some reason, they're pushing Hill. Great, I guess. He's okay in the ring. I don't know. I didn't know what they was going to do with Hill after, he sent Ricky Saints over to SmackDown. But this is what they're doing, trying to make him Mr. NXT or whatever. Because after the match, Tristan Angels appears on the stage to complain about Hill calling himself Mr. NXT. Angel says that Hill can't hack it in his domain. And in 2 weeks, there's going to be a Mr. NXT pageant because, everybody wants to see that, right? Angel says that he's going to prove to Hill that Hill is not worthy of calling himself Mr. NXT. Hill says he can't wait to embarrass Angels and accepts the challenge. Yeah, this is what everybody wants to see, a pageant between two men. Yeah. Oh, NXT. I'm doing this for y'all. Watching this show and stuff, I'm doing this for y'all so y'all don't have to. So that's all y'all got to do is keep up by listening to me. So, yes, I'm doing this for y'all. But not so good, but, somebody got to do it, right? Anyway. Then we see Izzi Dane reading Shawn Spears the ride act in the backstage era. Spears says that Izzi was right last week. He shouldn't ask for the tag team match the same night she was going for the NXT Women's Championship. He was just trying to do the right thing for the culling. Izzi says that it's okay. Spears made the right call. Don't worry about it. Nickel Vance tells Spears that they'll take care of it. Both of them said that sarcastically because, they really didn't agree with him doing that. But anyway. Later on, or after that, we get it's announced that Zarya will face Lizzie Rain and Dark State will take on Tavion Heights and Miles Bourne next week on the show. So, can't wait to see that Zarya and Lizzie Rain match. Dark State as well with Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights. Only if, Deion Lennox is wrestling. That's part of Dark State. But I got a feeling that it's going to be the other two guys. So, yeah. Now it's time for the main event. We got Lola Vice versus Izzi Dane for the women's NXT title. And this match ended with both ladies getting knocked down after a double clothesline. They get up and have a forearm exchange. Vice then hits her with the 3 spin kicks. Vice delivers a 305 and tries to wake up the referee because later on he got knocked down by Izzi Dane. Dane throws the NXT title at Vice and hits her with the big boot for a 2 count. Dane goes for the Dame over, but Vice counters with the guillotine choke. Dane tries to roll Vice over, but only gets a 2 count. Vice dodges the big boot. Vice then hits Danes with the 305 to pick up the win. So, pretty decent match between those two. Everybody knew that Lola Vice was going to get the win back, or get the win, not the win back, get the win. So, she definitely wasn't going to lose the belt there. But, yeah. Who do y'all think is going to end up beating Lola Vice for the NXT Women's title? I think it's going to end up being Jada Parker or Kelani Jordan. Or Kendall Gray. It could be either one of those 3. But yeah, I knew it wasn't going to be easy thing. But after this match, cameras catch up to Dark State leaving the PC. Dion Lennox says that Dark State is back. Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights got the intro tonight. Color Jane says that they're going to finish the job next week, and that they're going after gold. When Dark State strikes, ain't nobody say. We see Shaquan's Sugar standing on top of a truck, watching them as the show goes off the air. So yeah, they're gonna do this whole Shaquan Sugar's revenge story that nobody wants to see, but maybe, hopefully, it'd be good. I doubt it, but I guess we'll see. But that was the end of NXT, everybody. Join me again next week on the WWE podcast and on SmackDown with Mario. I guess that's it. I will see you guys next week, and I'm signing out. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the WWE podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.